includes those other jabronis, right? That's next. Hey everybody, I'm DL. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Verse Chorus Verse. How do I look? Strapping? Lovely? Amazing? Do I look comfortable? That's basically what I'm going for here. I'm still knee deep in vacation. I've been off for a long time and I've got a long time left to go. It's very weird. I'm trying to get used to it. I'm very sober, I promise. I don't know, man. I'm a little temperamental here. I need to just enjoy it. I have been enjoying it. I have been enjoying vacation. My mom came to visit. That was lovely. It's good to have her. I've spent a lot of time with my kids. That's really nice. So, of course, the vacation's great. There is a little bit of, at what point do you just start to feel like a total piece of shit? Which is dumb. I should appreciate it. And I have been trying to appreciate it. I've been reading in the mornings. That's really nice. I'm reading a book right now about this guy that spent 7 months in the Montana, by the Idaho border in the wilderness for 7 months, just watching salmon eggs, basically. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm reading, which is great, by the way. I started with White Fang. I'm on to that. These are great books, but waking up in the morning, having a coffee, sitting on the couch with my dog, reading a book. It doesn't get much better than that. I think the last time, in the last episode, I talked about trying to be healthy. It's half working. I'm still drinking way too much eggnog. The drinking has gone up a little bit because it's vacation and it's the holidays, but Christmas is over, so a little more relaxed on that. I don't know how much any of us care about any of this. It's the holidays, right? I'm in the doldrums of the middle of the holidays where I'm very glad I don't have to go to work tomorrow, but you can only clean the house so many times before you need purpose in life. This is it. Dive knee deep into the podcast, DL, right? That's what I need to do. I started playing, just yesterday, I started playing this game called Disco Elysium, a video game. So far, so good. It seems like a very big cluster fuck in the head of a game, which I'm in love. So I'll let you know how that goes. I think it's going to go well. What are we doing here tonight? It's a happy hour episode. Don't you miss these? I'm still doing them. I still love doing them. I'm still going to I'm going to keep doing them until people bitch at me to stop. But so far, it's only been pretty positive stuff on these ones. And they're one of my favorite ones to do. And I've explained why many times. I'm not going to do it again. Damn it. So go back and listen to the other episodes. What I do in this one is I talk about the amazing Rolling Stone 500 greatest albums of all time and 500 greatest songs of all time list. I think I said this in the last one. I'm not going to knock their album list too much. It's hard. Well, it's hard to mess up 500. Did I say 2 or 500? It's 500. It's hard to mess up a best of 500 list. What all are you going to miss in a 500 album list, right? 500 songs, on the other hand, they've managed to fuck that up proper. But that came out later, and I almost feel like they did it on purpose for, I think there's a little more clickbait involved with that one. I don't know. But yeah, I think we get right into it. For these episodes, I talk about 4 of the albums. I talk about 4 of the songs. Give you my opinions, tell you where my rankings are, and then I think moving forward after this one, because we are at the point where I'm listing off 15 rankings and songs. Well, you guys aren't going to remember that, or no, you need the visuals, so I'll just post those on Instagram. If you are into these episodes, go to our Instagram. I should probably start doing this at the beginning of the episode anyway. Download our episodes. Go to Verse Chorus Verse Pod on Instagram, at Verse Chorus Verse Pod. Start giving us our due, damn it. Follow us and download our stuff so that we can maybe make some money. I guess that's what you're supposed to do at the beginning of the episode, not the end, like we did for the first 5 years. Hey, we're learning. I don't know, man. The only rules that I read that I wouldn't mind living by is ask you to download things, because downloading, for some reason, helps the algorithm instead of just listening to it. I don't really download things, so I can't really say shit. I do, if there's independent artists out there, I do, if I going and listening to music, I try to download it. I hear it helps. Does it help? Anyway, do that if you want. Go to our Instagram. Not very many of you go to the Instagrams, which I'm not going to peddle social media on you. I'm going to say, hey, our posts are cool. It's vinyl. It's little blips of us and it's records. What's not to like about that, you guys? Pretty pictures of records and some booze. You guys like that, right? So go to our Instagram and maybe pop on there from time to time, like a few things. That helps us. I do post every single episode, audio and visual separately on YouTube. If you want to go to YouTube, literally nobody goes to YouTube. You can if you want. I'm not expecting much to ever happen with us on YouTube. We're not really YouTube style. I think if we were in person recording, it'd be a lot better. But hey, do that if you want. And last but not least, the one thing that I would say, because we are the type of pod that I think that we do well at building the relationships with our listeners. We do well with one of the one of the statistics we do really well in is the repeat listeners and listeners that, what's it called? Listeners that listen to our podcast listen to the very end. I forgot. There's a name for it that I don't remember because I'm not really trying to do all this stuff. Anyway, point being, tell a couple friends. Tell a friend a week. Tell somebody you know a week. Hey, check out this podcast. If each of you do that, it would help us out. And I need to be a little bit better with begging because we're right on the precipice of making enough to where I don't have to feel guilty about letting Rachel and Evil know that they don't do enough around here. So tell a friend, go to Instagram and whatever the other thing was. I don't care. You guys, it's vacation, David. Can't you tell? I mean, look at this guy, for fuck's sake. Let's get to the most important part of the day during vacation. What are we drinking? Vacation DL strikes again. I'm telling you, it's in every single aspect. I was so lazy. I can't even call this a true cocktail. It is delicious. It's beautiful looking. I mean, it's really, really good. But all it is vodka and sparkling grapefruit fever tree. That is it. That is how much energy I had. I poured whoever knows how much vodka into this, followed it up with a can of pink grapefruit, Bob's your uncle. That's it. That's all I did. I've got Kettle One. Yeah, sorry guys, I just don't. You know what? I don't. Why apologize? It's really, really fucking good. That is what I am drinking. Let's go ahead and get to the Rolling Stone list. Okay. Hope everybody's doing great out there. I think I'll probably record around one more while I'm still on vacation. I still have like 5 days of vacation left. I don't know. I'm just not good at this. I just don't take vacation enough to be good at this. But give me some advice. Give me some advice to feel good about yourself while you're on vacation. I have been really good about ignoring work. So props to me on that. It's the first time in years and years that I have just not opened email or Teams or Slack or any of that stuff. So give me a pat on the back for that one. We'll take a break. We will get right back with some, let's talk some albums and some songs. Hi everyone, we're back. It's been great to start this. We have already recorded an episode for season 6. That was fun. I got to see Rachel and Evil, and actually, you'll get to know this in that episode. They're kind of in a funk too. I think that, what is it about post-Christmas while you're still on vacation, that lull in between Christmas and New Year's Eve? I mean, you would think that it would be the greatest 5 days of the year, right? Because you're done with Christmas. Christmas is over. You don't have to worry about that shit. If you got anything fun, get to play with that a little bit. Work's not going to be, even if you are working, I mean, I guess if you're in retail or if you're in like food, then yes, they were probably extremely busy this week. So maybe for you guys, sorry. But for me, even if I was working, it wouldn't be crazy. Yeah, and I think all three of us are kind of in a funk. I think we just want to be working our tails off. And so maybe maybe I'll record two podcasts. Maybe I'll start studying now for one. But yeah, we did already record season 6 opener, and it went well. It's a band that you all know and love, but we're not here for that. We are here for the Rolling Stones list, the 500 greatest albums of all time. I started at 500 and I am down to 48. 48? Not that far. I am down to 488. What is 488, you ask? Well, it's right over here, over my right shoulder. It is Iggy, but it's pre-Iggy. He's still Iggy, but not naming the albums Iggy. It is the Stooges, the self-titled Stooges. We have never really gone over this on the podcast. We sort of did. In our first season, we did an episode on 1969. Evil Sven. Shout out Sven. Hope you've been doing well, buddy. Haven't really heard from him lately. He's a busy guy. We did an episode on 1969. And I'm sure you all know that there is a shit ton to cover when you're covering 1969. So much so that I think, first off, we messed up the first time we recorded 1969. I don't remember what happened, but I think somebody's audio didn't record properly or something like that happened. So we had to redo the whole episode. And I don't know how it worked or what happened. But in the second cut of 1969, we did not even touch on the Stooges album, which is crazy to think of. Again, that episode's not bad. Go back and listen to it. It's a good episode. The music that came out, there's just so much music that came out that year and so much going on that year. So much going on. I mean, to try to do, we did it, I think we covered it in one episode. You can't cover 1969 in one episode. And I guess technically we aren't, because we're going to piece it together with stuff like this, where we get to Rolling Stone's 488th best album of all time, the Stooges' self-titled 1969 album. Iggy Pop, am I right? For all of the shit that has been going on with people getting canceled and, well, I can't really listen to Who's He What's It anymore because back in the day he did this to his what. Kind of fucking crazy that Iggy Pop just, there are certain people that get away with things. And there are levels to that too. Charles Barkley infamously gets away with saying anything he wants as a commentator for the NBA. Whereas a lot of things that other people would have gotten canceled for in a second. And now I'm not against this. I am one of those that, first off, the NBA on TNT show was the greatest thing ever with Chuck and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie. It was the greatest show ever. It goes to show you there's this thing with executives, and it happens in my job, it happens in TV, music, it happens in every form of job. Your CEO, your owner, whoever. There's never a point in time where they can just say, you know what? Things are good right now. Let's not fuck with it. None of them have the ability. Sometimes that's good. Not all the time. And when you're TNT and you're saying, you know what? We have the greatest sports show on TV ever that ever will be. Those are idiots. Anyway, Chuck gets away with saying whatever he wants. And I'm not against that. I think it's great. I don't know how it works, but it works for me too. There are things that Chuck says that other people can't get away with. I'm totally for that. Who else? Dave Chappelle has the ability to, people still now he has made a lot more enemies than he had over the last 5 to 7 years, but most people still love him. Lots of comedians, I guess, are good examples of that, but there are just certain people that can get away with things that other people did. Point being, Iggy has done disgusting, crazy shit, and he gets away with it. And I don't know if it's just because he became a kind of a love everybody type of guy after his 30 years of hardcore drugs and beating the shit out of himself and other people and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. This album was produced by John Cale, former member of the Velvet Underground. So, you know, they played it for Elektra label head Jacques Holzman, and he absolutely fucking hated it. He wanted legitimate songs, even so much so they actually reworked it for him. Now, here's this thing. If you haven't listened to the self-titled Stooges debut album, look, when you hear Stooges, when you hear Iggy Pop, what do you think? You think punk. You think fucking punk. You think the guy in the skinny jeans down to his midriff, you know, skin and bones and bloody lip that you think punk. This album is so not punk. This was so much different than punk was supposed to be. And I don't think people pay attention to that. I don't think people understand that Iggy didn't come from freaking punk. He came from whatever the 60s thing was. This is so much more psychedelic rock than it is punk. Now, he was a punk star. He was a rock star, but he did whatever he wanted to do. And that's what I love about him and I loved about the Stooges is, yeah, the Stooges they symbolized something much more, you know, he wasn't manly, but he wasn't effeminate. He wasn't, you know, nobody cared about, like, he didn't have the rules for society or sexuality or any of that sort of thing that the people did. So in that case, that's how you know that he was a true punk rocker, because he didn't care about fitting into that punk rock mold. And that's not where he came from. It's like the Andy Warhol of punk, I guess. Well, also in that regard, because he liked being popular. He liked doing the popular things. He liked hanging out with the artists. He was cool and calm, but he was also disgusting. And he was bloody a lot. This is, you know, what was I trying to... This is like guitar-driven, piano prevalent. It's just in there. It's great. It's funny. You get to a song like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I Want to Be Your Dog is on here, which is one of, if not the quintessential punk songs, right? Quintessential Iggy Pop. The first song that anybody's going to think of is I Want to Be Your Dog. And it's amazing. It's awesome. That riff is just perfection. Everything he's doing on it is perfection. But it's not how you think of punk. And the weirdest thing about it is that, or proto-punk or whatever people call it nowadays, I hate it. I don't care. It's the names that the people come up with this. You go from Now I Want to Be Your Dog to a song right after that is, you know, they have 11-minute fucking dink around solo stuff on here. It's much more, this is a lot more Jefferson Airplane. It's a lot more Janis Joplin than it is fucking Sex Pistols. And I like it more. I think because of that, it's better. I'm sure Sex Pistols are going to be farther down the line on here. I don't know how I feel about that. Because if we're talking great albums versus influence versus this is a really good album. Yeah, We Will Fall. That's right, is the song after I Want to Be Your Dog. And it's a 10-minute long fucking 69 improv song. There's a lot of stolen work. There's a lot of artistic theft on this album, which was very normal in 1969. So it wasn't like they weren't trying to sneak anything past the goalposts. This was really, really normal stuff. Like Hendrix did it all the time. Joplin did it. It was super, super normal, like all the bigwigs. It was just really prevalent in this album. It seems unnecessary with this band because they had their own thing and they were good at doing their own thing. And I also think that they would have done more of their own thing if it wasn't for that record label pressure, like I was talking about. Like I said, the label execs, they hated the first version of this. This album is, I don't worship this album the way that I once did. I do really, really like it. Going back to it, I like it for different reasons. I thought here's how I'll say it. I thought coming in to talk about this album, it would be no question my favorite so far, and it isn't. It isn't. There's like We Will Fall again. It's 11 minutes of people loved drugs in 1969, and that's great. But if I go back and I listen to those songs and I'm not on drugs, Ah, no. I Want to Be Your Dog. It's just such a nasty song. It's so grimy. I don't know. None of the songs are exactly straightforward, but none have kind of there's a hubris missing in him, which is a good thing that was there with a lot of the other stuff of the time. It's just garage rock, 60s psych and punk and everything that music would be. It's a great mixture of it. I just think if you want real Stooges, you kind of got to go further. You got to go to like Funhouse. That's when you're really going to start to hear them come into their own. That was, that was the door being kicked in, not so much this. That doesn't make this not a fantastic album though. So let's do some awards and categories. The 70 million Jackson fans can't be wrong. What about this album do I think I'm on a small island about? I don't think anything. This album's great. The next one is better. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Let me know what you think. Funhouse is a better album, right? Or is I Want to Be Your Dog alone on here, or just the fact that it is a little more psychedelic rock? Do you guys like that more? Let me know what's better, the Stooges self-titled album or Funhouse. Maybe I'll put that on an Instagram thing. What's Love Got to Do with It award? Do I like this more or less because of the artist? It's easy. The easy answer here, which is the one I'm going to take, is probably more. If this wasn't the Stooges, I wouldn't think so much about this album. I Want to Be Your Dog would still be a fucking nasty, amazing song. But no, I think because of what Iggy Pop became, this album got to be what it is. The DMX Award, what makes this band artist unique? Iggy Pop is the front person, and I'm not going to spend any more time on that because it's Iggy Pop. The DMX Award is, if there was a Mount Rushmore of unique artists, Iggy Pop would be on there. The Mark Lanigan True Rockstar Award, again, I kind of talked about this at the beginning. Just go look up some of the shit that Iggy Pop did. He is on par with like Led Zeppelin touring stories. He has stories about, he did shit that people did in Saw movies. He is a rock star of all rock stars. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. I am in its time and currently. I'm both saying properly. I do think that if you tell a music person, hey, self-titled Stooges, right? Yeah, man, I Want to Be Your Dog. Yeah, man, followed by that really weird, super long song. But good stuff. It's properly rated. It wasn't forgotten about. It wasn't huge back in the day either, but they definitely got bigger with Funhouse. And I think this album's place is correct in history and now. Influences and influencees, it's all pretty obvious stuff, right? It's all the Kinks, the Stones, blues, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin. It's all, for as unique and at the forefront of a specific style that Iggy was. In this album, his influences he is just right here for everyone to see. The Nevermind the Bullocks Award, this is not their best album. So this is where it gets really silly. So the next 5 awards, the No Dude Seriously Award, what song am I going to show somebody if I want to get them into this album? The John Popper Award, what's the best hook? The John Prine Award for best lyrics. I mean, this is what happens when you have a good album with one of the best tracks of all time on it. I Want to Be Your Dog it is punching above its weight, and it's taking all of the awards home. All of them. The Eddie Van Halen Award. No Fun is doing this kind of Stones guitar vox thing better than the Stones were doing it. It's fucking rad. Go to No Fun and listen to the guitar in that. It's amazeballs. The Surfer Rosa Award. The only thing that I would say is that track 3 on this album being We Will Fall is fucking insane. It's fucking insane that they have track 3 as a We Will Fall. That's nuts. It's absolutely bonkers. Only in 69, ladies and gentlemen, only in 69. The Time of Your Life Award is actually, that was right. Vodka's working, I guess. I don't not like anything on this album. Anne, I guess, boring, but I don't not like anything. I like every single song. It's my least I like this song. I feel like I'm being maybe a little bit negative on this. I should be. It's just not what I remembered. It's It's not a 10 out of 10, and I think I always held this album as a 10 out of 10 in my mind. 3 best songs on the album. 69, it's the Stooges. I want my Stooges punky, and it's, 1969 is great. Fun is my number 2 track, and my number 1 track, I mean, LOL, you guys, right? Come on. Here's another question. Would any of you, if you're saying your favorite song on this album, how many of you say that it's not I Want to Be Your Dog? And then how many people are comfortable with the looks that you're going to get for that? Because that's insane. Does it belong on the list, and do I own it? Yes, it definitely belongs on the Rolling Stone list. I am sure Funhouse has got to be on there as well, right? I really, really hope so. I do have it behind me. I do pop it on every once in a while. It's a great record album. And nowadays, I feel like I have to explain that, but I think you guys understand that. Some albums are better listening to as records, right? Some, that Wolf Alice album this year was not my favorite album of the year, but you put that record on, amazeballs. That is this album. Fantastic. And then rate the album, I'm going 7. I'm going 7 out of 10 to Funhouse's 8 or 9 out of 10. Honestly, it'd be more like a 6 or a 5. No, not a 5, like a 6 if it wasn't for Be Your Dog. It's a good, hearty 7 out of 10. It's everything you'd want in a classic album. Really glad that Rolling Stones put it on here. Not so upset at how high it is. I imagine that time will go by that I'm like, come on, it's better than X. It's better than blah. I think 488 sounds like an okay place for an album like the Stooges self-titled. And that's one album that Esto and do. That's one album down. Let's try harder, deal. As we get to number 487, I've got a 6-pack.
And
Nothing to do.
I got a 6-pack, and I don't need you.
Damaged by Black Flag is number 487. And I mean, so Black Flag went through some singers early on, and it's kind of funny if you go to YouTube, there's recordings and stuff. You can hear old demos before You Know Who and after Rollins first started too, like some really old dusty stuff. But they did the right thing. They brought on Henry Rollins, and Black Flag became Black Flag. And if you like punk at all, Black Flag has to be up there for you. You gotta love Black Flag. Go check out the what are they? Jealous Again EPs. That's not Henry Rollins, but that's really good Black Flag stuff. And I'm not saying that when given the choice of Henry or not Henry, I'm choosing Henry all the time. Henry got kind of a bad rap. Oh, I don't know if it was because of the 90s Henry Rollins self-album stuff where he got into the MMA and he was, he's wearing the shorts and he's kind of feeling himself. That's what it seemed like. I think he's always been a little bit of a wannabe Renaissance man. I don't know why people didn't like that. I've always loved Henry Rollins. I've always loved his appreciation for music. I've always loved, those people that if you ask them about their favorite album of all time, or you ask them about this band or stuff, and their eyes light up and the passion that starts oozing out of them, that's Henry Rollins when he's talking about music. You go on the YouTube, you go on the YouTubes, you young kids, and check out him talking about one of the Joy Division albums. And it's impossible not to like him. This is one of the most influential hardcore punk bands of all time. It's funny that this is right before Stooges self-titled, because this is fucking punk. Iggy was a whole different style of punk, but this, like, no question, nose in the dirt, this is as hardcore punk as you're really going to get that would be on this list. You're not going to find anything more punk on the Rolling Stones list. Thanks to Henry Rollins' kind of smarter ways of looking at things, this is aged really well. It's raw, but it's kind of perfected and honed, and it's refreshing because they were also for being so punk, they were also this is one of the bands that kind of had to make sure that their music, that their culture didn't get overtaken by pieces of shit. It was real easy for skinheads to get into punk, and bands like this is not what they wanted. So they kind of actually had to start fighting against them and making sure that any skinheads that came to their concerts got their fucking asses kicked. And it was this kind of, Rollins was one of the leaders of the ones that was fighting to make sure that punk stayed punk, whatever punk is. The only thing that Henry knew was that punk is not, you didn't go in there to hate anything but the man, right? Let's see, Rise Above, you know what it's about, you know what it sounds like, you love it. It's one of those albums where you can't just sit there and listen to it. You have to get pumped, you have to get amped, you have a six-pack and nothing to do. This is the sort of music that you're not always going to be in the mood for. Some people are never going to be in the mood for it. It's going to grind you. It's going to punch you in the face until you're tired of being grinded. It's just no click track, no structure. I miss that. I miss that sort of punk. Room 13 all over the place. TV Party. It's Green Day, Blink, Dropkick Murphys, all of them, you're welcome. The songs are just great. You just turn it on and party. And yeah, quote that I saw in Rolling Stone, actually, which is great. Punks still listen to Damaged and parents still hate it. And it doesn't get any better than that, right? That's just a perfect quote. I think that's spectacular. It's Damaged. Let's go into awards and categories when I find what I was talking about. The 70 million Jackson fans can't be wrong. Nothing. There's nothing about this I'm on a small island about. There's nothing you can be on a small island about with this. If somebody comes to you and is like, this is one of the most well-written albums of all time. Yeah, maybe, but it's punk, it's fast punk, it's loud punk. You're going to turn it on, you're going to headbang. That's what everybody's going to do. The what's love got to do with it? Less or more because the artists are banned? More. Again, he got a rep from some for being a douche. I don't really know why. I think he's just a free thinker. I think a lot of these, I guess that's part of the bigger conversation, right? I'm going to really put myself out on a limb here. And I don't listen to him anymore because I do think he got kind of shitty, but I listened to Joe Rogan for a long time, and I'll tell you what, he was never on a side. He was a free thinker. He wanted people on that he could have conversations with, that would challenge him, that he could challenge, that he could talk about fucking UFOs and drugs and politics, and without being a Republican or a Democrat. He wasn't what people are painting him to be now, which I get. He said some dangerous stuff as far as vaccines and mixing up. I think he mixed up measles with chickenpox or just something, which, yeah, you have hundreds of millions of followers. Maybe you need to be a little bit more responsible. But he wasn't this evil fucking life ruiner that people made him out to be. He was an idiot comedian that got a massive show because he was an MMA commentator. Why would you listen to him? And for some reason, Henry Rollins for a while got kind of put into that same circle. And I don't really understand that. Henry Rollins has never been anything really close to that. I don't know. Maybe I missed something that he said that sucked, or I don't know. I just don't get, it seems like he got a bad rep for a while, and I don't really get why. He's always been a badass to me. The DMX award, this is pre-Bad Religion Cali Punk. Of course I'm in it. These are founders of founders of founders. These guys are to thank for a lot of the music that I absolutely love. The Mark Lanigan True Rock Star Award. He's a pretty straight edge dude. I don't know if you've heard this story about Eddie Van Halen offering him a beer. We've told it a time or two on the podcast. David Lee Roth. I said Eddie Van Halen. I meant David Lee Roth. Understandable mix up. It was properly rated in its time. It's properly rated now. A few times a year, I still see it on Instagram. Somebody's spinning it and I get super happy. I say, good job, whoever you are, listening to Black Flag. I think Black Flag is pretty renownedly known for being a punk grandfather, and I don't think they should be any more than that. We're all good with that, right? Influences and influencees, it's just music, man. He loves all of it. His record collection is famous. He has shows where God, man, the Queens of the Stone Age on the Henry Rollins show. Cool, go listen to that. Misfit Love. Fuck. The Nevermind the Bullocks Award. Is this the band's? I think this probably is the band's best album. I haven't sunk knee deep into their discography. I think I've listened to all their albums. A couple consistently. I think this is probably their best. If it is, it's got to be close though, I would think. The No Dude Seriously Award. The answer is Six Pack. You've got a six pack and nothing to do. That's what you do. The best hook is Depression's Got a Hold on Me. Go listen to that. I like Kid Punk, man. I love it. The John Prine Best Lyric Award, Hold Out Your Hand to Me. Give me your hand. And I'll bite it off. Fucking Punk. The Van Halen Award. I love the opening bass riff on TV Party. You do too. Come boy. The Surfer Rosa Award, it's a punk album. It gets exhausting. Most punk albums, you're going to get past track 5. You're going to be out of breath. You're going to be done. You maybe don't need the other 17 tracks that are going to be on it. A Time of Your Life Award, Matilda, it's peak boring on a lot of, there's like My Life at Cinema, there's lots of meh, and it's like most, especially old punk albums, you do get a little jaded with it after a while. So there's a couple songs towards middle and end that you start to get that glazed over look. But the 3 best songs on the album, Six Pack, TV Party, and Depression. Those 3 songs are such amazing punk songs. If you don't want to buy this album, you don't want to play, you're not a big punk person, just give one of those 3, just give those 3 a chance. I promise you one of them is going to end up on a playlist, a workout or a get pumped or on the way to work playlist that you have to get yourself into the day. Does it belong on the list and do I own it? Surprisingly, I don't own this album. I would totally own this vinyl if I find it in the bins at my record store. I would totally buy it. I'm not going to like $30 or that sort of thing. But it absolutely belongs on the list. My guess is that it should be higher. I can't really say yet. And I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. As far as punk, there's not much more that you can ask for. Probably maybe more like a 9. For as much as I talk about punk, I'm not a huge punk guy. Props where props is due. Six Flags. Black Flag is one of the best to ever do it. And Henry Rollins forever. God bless him and his love for Joy Division. Let's go to number 486, an album very similar in nature and artist. It is Continuum by John Mayer. How long do I have to spend on these? It's really hard to even anger listen to this album. It's infuriatingly stupid. This album is dog shit. And I know a lot of you are, DL, you don't get it. He's such a good guitarist. You gotta hear him live. You don't understand. I know. He's a great guitarist. He's fucking incredible. You see him on stage with these blues guys. He's great. I'll even give an olive branch. One of my favorite artists is Diana Krall. Diana Krall's the fucking shit. She's amazing. You know what would make her way the fuck better? If she would shut the fuck up. Her voice is mid. And I'm sorry to anybody that thinks that I'm saying something insane. Her playing, her music, chef's kiss, unreal. You don't also have to sing. Like, I get John Mayer has to because he's got to get laid. That's his prime. You know the dude in college and high school that had to play the guitar and sing because it was going to get him some ladies. That's John Mayer. He's got to do what he's got to do. He's not a fucking vocalist. I'm not even saying he's a bad vocalist. He's just not. There's something there it reminds me of the Maroon 5 fucker. There's just something not there. That it's like, yeah, your voice sounds fine on this song, but it's not. It doesn't belong singing on anything. I think even Sven hated this fucking album. Like we did. So when we first started trying to do these, we did them on video and Sven was still part of the pod and he was doing some of these and he did this one. And if I'm remembering correctly, it was the first time that I heard him really talk shit on an album. That's all the time I'm going to give this. I listened to it once all the way through. I don't get it. 70 million Jackson fans can't be wrong. I think I'm one of the many that loves his guitar and hates his voice. There's probably a large amount of people guitar lovers that will, raise the hand, credit where credit is due, but maybe shut up. Maybe don't write your own, maybe play other people's songs. Because that's his writing is not good either. He's waiting for the fucking world to change. What's Love got to do with it more or less because of his art? I don't like him. I kind of hate him, but no, I don't hate him. I just don't really like his music at all. But I don't know enough about him and his story. I see videos of him up on stage with BB King and shit. So I'm like, well, I mean, it's gotta be. I will say anybody that goes to a fucking John Mayer concert that come back, like, oh my God, you don't understand how unbelievable that was. The DMX award, that's what I put in my notes. He's the idiot college kid that picked up a guitar to get chicks, but he's really good at it. He is a rock star. Go through the list of the women he's dated, for fuck's sake. Mark Lanigan, true rock star award. Again, he's really good at it. Go look at the fucking women he's dated. After he's dated other women. I mean, I think it's like, he picks the most famous person at least he did back when he was popular. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. I'll say properly in its time and currently. I think John Mayer fans are John Mayer fans. And if you like him, you probably like this album. And that's it. I don't think he's ever going to gain more fans. I think he's kind of stuck where he is, and I'm okay with that. Influences and influencees, a lot of like country rock, Reba McEntire, the Eagles, maybe even all the way up to like Maren Morris were influenced. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Never mind the Bullocks Award. I don't know. I have no idea. This is the only album I've heard because I had to listen to it. The No, Dude, Seriously Award. The John Popper Award for Best Hook. Probably Waiting on the World to Change. It's a good hook. It's got the piano. I think, is that the one he did with Herbie Hancock? A John Prine Best Lyric Award. I've got the opposite up. Go listen to Vultures. It's fucking abysmal. The Eddie Van Halen Award. The solo in Repair is fucking amazing. The Surfer Rosa Award. I think this is one of those albums where you get the wrong impression from the first song. So I don't think it's very well structured, but I don't know. I could be wrong. The Time of Your Life Award, I've got 5 songs listed on here. I don't know. So I'll just go to the 3 best. I've got The Heart of Life, which is pretty with great guitar. I've got Belief, which is great guitar. And I've got Gravity, which is great guitar. I don't think belongs on the list. I don't own it. And that's where I am with this. I think it's a 5 out of 10 album. I think 5 out of 10s are the most dangerous thing that you can put on a list like this. And that's where I'm going to stop it and get to number 485. I Want to See the Bright Lights Tonight by Richard Thompson. Also, Linda Thompson. This came out in 1974. Richard had done, Henry the Human Fly prior, which, what was the other one? Fairport Convention, I think he was in. And then they made this, and this is the sort of stuff that I love doing this for, because this is a fucking great album, and it is not talked about enough. I really, really love going back to this. Richard listened to a lot of Scottish music to get into this. There's a lot of sneaky kind of Scotland vibes, a lot of English folkiness, but it's also very rock. It's kind of dark. I don't think that's a bad thing. I mean, you know me. It's the married couple, but there's dark shit going on. They ended up breaking up. Shocker that 2 artists would do. This is one of those extra track albums, which I'm usually not a fan of, or the adding live tracks and stuff like that, but they're so fucking good. On this, they're so good. I really, really wish I could have. This is one of those albums you're listening to and you think, man, to hear them live doing their thing together, that must have been good. Richard is just a absolutely phenomenal musician. I really am. When I get to the Border and the Great Valario, there's so much this really, really, this folky, rudiment kind of feel here of the stuff that if you listen real close, you're like, oh, okay, He's not just, they're not doing easy shit here. They really aren't. Let's see. You have, I Want to See the Bright Lights, just amazing 70s music. The end of their relationship is really well documented. They joined a cult, and the cult was like fucking awful. And it sounded like a lot of the stereotypical stuff. I think she had like a fucking kid or something in the cult, and like the pregnancy was super negative. I think the guys were treated differently than the girls, and blah 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 blah. Apparently they get along well now, but I listened to this preparing for this. I listened to this album about 3 days ago. Just put it on a couple times, and God, guys, this is a fantastic album. Go listen to it. If you've never listened to it, listen to it. And if you haven't listened for a long time, listen to it again. I'm going to say it again. This is why we want to do this, right? Is to remember that album number 485 on the Rolling Stone list is, God, it deserves another listen. It deserves to be listened to. It's really good. 70 million Jackson fans can't be wrong. I knew them, but this album specifically wasn't on my radar until I did the Rolling Stone thing. So more calling myself out as a simp and Rolling Stones saving me. That's how depressing is that. What's love got to do with it? They had a kid in the 70s in a cult commune. I don't know how much I love them anymore for that. That's just people like that. DMX Award, this is such a good blend of folk and rock. It's like flogging Molly Mumford and Sons type of thing way the fuck before stuff like that was happening. The Mark Lanigan True Rock Star Award, I could have the same answer. They had a fucking kid in a cult in a commune in the 70s. It's pretty fucking rock star. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. I think their 82 album was way bigger, and it's way worse. So I'm calling this underrated, especially compared to their album that came out in 82. I don't remember what, in fact, I think I might even own that. I think I got it at a garage sale or something like that. And it's nowhere near as good as this one. And then I'm going to say underrated now too, because I don't see it. I don't hear it. And they call me Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist is mine, D Zeitgeist L, DZL is what they call me. You know that. Influences and influencees. God, I have a lot written here. It's all American. It's just American artists. It's just Hank Williams, Bob Dylan, Phil Ochs, traditional folk, Chuck Berry, and then looks like Linda's influences were a lot of the like Patsy Cline and Hank Williams types. So nothing too crazy here. A little Elvis, that sort of thing. Never mind the Bullocks Award. I've only heard those two albums, and this one's way better. Were those their only two albums? I don't know. How's that for being whatever? The No Dude Seriously Award. I Want to See the Bright Lights. If you don't want to give this whole album a chance, go listen to that. Tell me it's not great. The John Popper Award for Best Hook, Down Where the Drunkards Roll. Fucking hell. I've got it in my head now. See, this stuff sticks with you. The John Prine Best Lyric Award. Go listen to the whole Cavalry Cross song. That whole thing. It's fantastic. The Eddie Van Halen Award. I'm just giving it to Richard Thompson's guitar playing in general. It's so weird and it's so underrated. It is so technically great. Just listen to his guitar work, mother lovers. Surfer Rosa Award, no structure. This is nuts. There's zero structure. It works, but it's like they clearly, I don't think they gave a shit where they put what. The Time of Your Life Award, maybe we sing Hallelujah. It's so traditional that it just feels like they're covering a folk song. It doesn't feel like theirs. But the three best songs: Has He Got a Friend for Me? When I Get to the Border? I Want to See the Bright Lights. Get off of here in about 20 minutes. Go listen to those and tell me that they're not great. Does it belong on the list, and do I own it? I don't own it. I will probably like actively hunt for this now. I'm not like $30ing it, but this feels like the type of thing you'd find in a used pocket, right? In a record store. And I don't own it. It absolutely belongs on the list. Say it for the fourth time. This is why I like doing this. This is a solid 8 out of 10 that I really was not on my radar at all. So, hey, anytime you can get me an 8 out of 10, you better get me an 8 out of 10. So where are we at this point? This will be the last time I read through this. And then from then on, I'll give you top 5, and then I'll put the rest on Instagram. 16, Back to Mono. It's a cheat. 15, Continuum. Fuck that guy. 14, Harry's House. It's on the list. I don't understand it. 13, Shaka Khan and Ask Rufus. A little surprising. They did better stuff, and I don't love this point in their career stuff. Number 12, Here My Dear. It is not even a top 5 Marvin Gaye to me. Number 11, Suicide. That, man, something changed in me because that would have been much higher, much earlier in my life. Number 10, Shakira. I have zero problems with Shakira. I like Shakira. Number 9, Boys to Men's 2. Number 8, Heart Like a Wheel. Great album. Number 7. God, that feels weird to say. Number 7, Nick of Time by Bonnie Raitt. I think when I first did this, that was way higher for a much longer time. I still love it. There's other Bonnie that I like more. Number 6 is where I'm putting the Stooges. So Stooges is one up above Bonnie. It's not in my top 5. Man. My number 5, The Beats of Soweto, that's just sticking around. It just doesn't want to go away, and it's rad. My number 4 is The Ronettes still. It's going to be hard to kick that off. Here's where we get crazy. My number 3 is Black Flag Damaged. Again, it's the punkiest of the punks that ever punked. I love it. Number 2, I Want to See the Bright Lights. I think that's the second best one that I've covered so far. And number 1, still punching way above its weight as it was the 500th for Rolling Stone. It's still Arcade Fire's Funeral. That's a 10 out of 10 album. And I think I posted something on Instagram asking that, and the resounding, not only did a lot of people vote, because most of the time when you put a poll on Instagram, not many people vote. They don't give a shit. I just did one on Eggnog and like 7 people voted. They didn't care. Maybe a little more than that, okay? But Funeral, a lot of people voted, and a lot of people voted as a 10 out of 10. So there we go. I'm going to take the quickest of breaks, because I went way the fuck too long on this, and then I'm going to be right back with 4 songs. Okay, bye-bye.
I want to see the bright lights tonight. There's crazy people.
All right, you mofos, we're back. We are back to talk some songs. Let's go to number 488, House of Balloons by The Weeknd. Debut mixtape from 2011 with the same name. He did this under his own label, XO, which he started anonymously. When he had his record label anonymously, I was putting stuff on YouTube. Drake loved it. He wrote it with Timberlake, and who's the guy that hit his Sully's umbrella? Chris Brown. I don't know. I didn't know the story of The Weeknd until I studied for this mixtape a little bit. Honestly, it fucking screams industry plant. It totally does. But if you listen to this mixtape, it's pretty fucking progressive. So then I think, it's probably not an industry plant, but it's very like Kanye's 8s, very, very with some Kid Cudi, 90s, 80s synthwave, hip hop stuff. This takes it a step further into R&B. I had never heard this. I will say that I do not like the mixtape. I don't think it's very good, with the exception of House of Balloons. That song by The Weeknd. It is really good. I really, really enjoy this song. I think it's all that stuff I was talking about, the synthwave. I love Eights and Heartbreaks. I love Kid Cudi. I love synthwave. It's kind of all that. I really, really dig it. See, as I said, the entirety of the EP goes, the more you listen to it, the worse it gets. This specific song is fantastic. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on these. They don't deserve it. I'll spend more time as we get lower. The What's Love Got to Do With It award, I like this less because of the artist. I have not liked The Weeknd for his last 3 albums. The Weeknd has one good album, one phenomenal album, and then Desert. That's my humble opinion. And so I like him a little less because I just think he has a lot more bad music than he has good music. The Brain Pleaser Award. I'm a synthwave guy, so the fact that this is a synthwavy song just does it for me. Underrated, overrated. Drink every time drinking's getting in the way of talking. Overrated, underrated, properly rated. I think it's properly rated pretty much both ways. I think you've got your very serious Weeknd people that know it. You got your very serious R&B hip hop people that know it. And I think that's kind of where it belongs. I don't think this is some groundbreaking thing. The Royals Award. Is it their best song? Is it close? No, I don't think it's their. It's definitely not his best song. Come on, I'm a middle weekend guy. We know that. Right in the smack dab of the middle of the Saturday night, the Saturday afternoon. That's what we're trying to go for. Starboy and After Hours. That's what those albums are called. Check your notes more, DL. Rickroll, is this song overplayed? It's not. It surprises me that it's not, but it's not. You would think a song like this from The Weeknd would be very overplayed, and some of his songs are, but this one is not. And it might be why I still really like it. The John Prine Best Lyric Award. Nights pass so much quicker than the days do. It's dumb. It's simple. I like it. I like that line. It's fun. The album's setup. It's an EP. I'm not counting it. Is this the best song on the album? Yes, but not a lot of contest there. He's not punching. He's not, something witty that I would say. Rank the song. I am giving this an 8 out of 10. Now, it cheats. It's a little bit of a Green Day-ish 2 song for 1 on the radio thing. But I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's good, man. It's some cool shit. It'd be easy to give it a 7. I'm giving it 1 over. And there we go. We can go on to song 487, which is Cranes in the Sky by Solange.
To drink it away. I tried to put one in the air.
This came out in 2016, everybody. This came out in 2016 through Columbia. It was produced by Bangladesh, who fucking produced everyone around this time. Like 10 years ago, Bangladesh was doing fucking everybody. And then Raphael Sadiq, who was in Tony and did a bunch of other stuff. This won an R&B Grammy. It's a song about a breakup. I was trying to figure out why the fuck this was on the list. Not that it's terrible, but it's just not like, what the fuck is happening? What am I missing? And then I found it. This is Beyonce's younger sister. Aha. So, Rolling Stone's greatest songs keeps proving to just be shite, because there's no fucking way in hell this song would be popular, famous, whatever, if it wasn't for the fact that it was Beyonce's younger sister. So let's move right on to What's Love Got to Do with It. I don't care. I'm not amazed by this. Maybe a little less. I'm not a big fan of nepotism, even though I do kind of believe in it. We've talked a little bit about that on the pod. Here's the thing about nepotism is you grow up with all these artists. You grow up around some brilliant artists. That's just how it is. The Brain Pleaser Award. Here's the thing. This is an original, from what I found, this was an original instrumentation, and it's actually, that part of it's pretty beautiful. If that's true, then huzzah. I couldn't, much like a lot of this sort of stuff, you can't find, they weren't clear on if Solange actually wrote the instrumental part. If she did, pretty great. Overrated, underrated, properly rated in its time, and currently I have no idea. I don't know where this stands. So I guess properly, because I don't hear about it, but I'm not the target for this. So I don't know if I would hear about it. More of a Rachel question, but she doesn't do these with me, does she? The Royals Award, Best Song, no fucking clue. The Rickroll, is it overplayed? Never fucking heard it. The John Prine Best Lyric Award, honestly, tried to change my hair, drink, run the card up to not think of you. It sounds dumb. It's not. The lyrics aren't that bad. For being what it is, there was some wittiness in here. I didn't hate it. Album setup, no, I'm not trying it. Is this the best song album? I don't know. And to end it, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. This is a pretty song. And I feel like what I said at the beginning was this song wouldn't be famous if it wasn't for it being who she is. It's a pretty song. It really is. I'm not 5 out of 10ing this. It's a 7 out of 10. It's pretty. You can turn this on and be good with it. And that's about where I'm leaving it. To go to 486, A Milli by Lil Wayne, 2008. I have a very soft spot for Lil Wayne, Young Jeezy. When I was on SHIP, one of my closest friends grew up in the same neighborhood as him, Holly Grove and NOLA, and he would never shut the fuck up about Lil Wayne. And at the time it was annoying, but you know how it is when you go through stuff with guys and then you all leave each other, that stuff becomes endearing. Look, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, ride or die, but my second team is the Detroit Lions, and that's just all paying homage to a Navy dude. So, you know, those sort of things happen, and Lil Wayne is kind of one of those things. This was a leaked mixtape. He came out like 30 times, 2000s hip hop, especially, I don't know. You hear in the 2000s, you heard this all the fucking time, like this leaked mixtape. And Lil Wayne was kind of famous for that. It was always the mixtape that leaked. I don't know if he just didn't like coming out with that. I don't really know. All I know is that it's Lil Wayne. The syncopation is rad. And other than that, it's not all that memorable. It really isn't. You know, you like a bitch with no ass, you ain't got shit. Is the best lyric. It's a single. It's not his best song. It's not even like, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's a Lil Wayne song. And yeah, I don't think I'm really breaking news to the press that 95% of Lil Wayne songs sound exactly the same. He's fun. He's great. There's a couple of his albums that I really enjoy, but are we ever going to give him any less than a 5 out of 10 or any more than a 7? That's not fair. There's a couple of songs that you can 9 out of 10 out of 10 for sure, but this is a 7 out of 10, and that's all the time I'm going to take for that, because I have one more song to go, and I would like to finish this and go drink. Number 485 is 212 by Azalea Banks. 212 by Azalea Banks. What do I know about Azalea Banks? Absolutely fucking nothing. To the point that when I was getting started to study for this, I had to text Rachel. And I texted Rachel and I said, hey, Azalea Banks, what the hell? Because I will tell you, I turned the song on and I was completely I did not expect what I heard. And Rachel, I think her answer was, it was nothing to do with music. It was something like, oh, she's a piece of shit. It's like, okay, but how do we feel about her music? I don't know. She's a piece of shit. And that was pretty much where it went. So I did look it up, and it is, you know, she's out of New York City. She's accused of a bunch of like homophobic, xenophobic stuff. So yeah, I'm guessing she's probably a piece of shit. I don't really know. I don't know anything about her. All I know is that this is a much different hip hop song than the type that I've heard over the last 5 years. And it is a much different syncopation from a female rapper than I've heard. And I gotta say, I was into it. It's fucking good. I'm not going to sit here and promote it because being completely honest, I didn't research this. I don't know what she said that's xenophobic or homophobic. So I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to knock it. I don't know what's true and what isn't. If she's a piece of shit, she's a piece of shit. Don't go listen to her. But all I know is that the breakdown in this song is fucking rad. That's my brain pleaser. I can't say anything about any of the other awards. The album, The Broke with Expensive Taste, is a fucking rad name. That's a great name. I really like that. And as far as a song, just a singular song, this is an 8 out of 10. Like, just turn this on and tell me that you don't fucking start to get down a little bit. Her syncopation and the beat are fucking great. And I won't get into any more of it because I don't want to get in trouble. I'll read my top 5. And I will say that 212 Azalea Banks, that's right off there. That's number 6 for me. Right above Cannonball, House of Balloons, Stronger. Like, this song's good, and I'm sure there's recency bias too. Sorry, but that's the way it is. But my top 5, we're doing number 5 is Baby Love. It's insane that was so high up. My number 4 is Time After Time, Little Miss Cyndi Lauper, who's the best of the best. Number 3, Where's My Mind? Number 2, So What? And number 1, Welcome to the Goddamn Jungle, are my top 5 so far. And that's it. That's all we got. You know, the albums are more fun to talk about than the songs, but the songs are, hey, I would have never heard that Azalea Banks song. That's fun. I might go pop that on now. I'm not going to buy anything from her until I find out the truth read for myself. That's the good life lesson for us all over the last decade, right? Read it for yourself. Find a place you can trust, good fucking luck, and read it for yourself, and then decide what's true and what's not true and who's a piece of shit and who isn't. She's a musician. I'm sure she's a piece of shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're having a little bit of holiday off time like I am, and I hope you're learning how to enjoy it like I am. Give me some tips and tricks. Well, by the time you hear this, it's going to be way the fuck done. Thanks a lot, jerks. I love you. I love doing this. Is fun to do on my vacation. This is where I feel at home. I'm sitting here talking to you jabronis with a little drinky poo, listening to some pretty cool music. We love you so very much. Join us next week. Oh yeah, it's me alone again. I will probably do it this weekend towards the very end of my vacation. We're going to have a little bit of a segment about a concert, a little 20-minute ditty with Evil and I. And then I am just going to talk about whatever I want on my vacation. I'm going to talk about the preseason. I'm going to give you a little bit about what's coming this year and what I didn't listen to on my vacation. Just a little bit of a prep-episode, right? Maybe I don't know how to talk anymore. Clearly don't. I love you guys. Good night.
I'm in the 212 with the fifth cock niggas, the 210. Fuck your gun Jew. When your goon sprayed up, bet this bitch won't get him. Bet you won't do much. See, even if you do want to bust, you bitch, you get your cut and touch your crew up to pop. You playing with your butter like